So kicking it off, we are starting with Spider-Man Miles Morales. 4K, DLSS, frame gen off, DLSS set to quality, very high preset with ray tracing off. Now we're seeing an average of 89 FPS here with 1% lows of 53. Now turning ray tracing on completely nukes it, and we see an average of 35 FPS with 1% lows of 24 FPS. Moving over to Ghost of Satsuma, we've got 4K, DLSS, frame gen off, DLSS set to quality, very high preset, averaging only 58 FPS with 1% lows of 38. However, with DLSS frame gen on, we are capable of getting 84 FPS on average with 1% lows of 53 FPS. Now moving over to Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, 4K, DLSS frame generation off, DLSS set to quality, very high preset, we're averaging 54 FPS with horrendous 1% lows of 13 FPS. DLSS frame gen set to on, we're averaging 63 FPS with 1% lows of 19 FPS. With DLSS frame gen off, but now DLSS set to ultra performance with ray trace shadows and reflections on, we're now seeing average of 78 FPS with 1% lows of 43. So that's a big difference going from DLSS quality to ultra performance. Now with DLSS frame generation off, DLSS still set to ultra performance, but now with ray traced shadows and reflections off, we've managed to hit that 100 FPS at 4K that I mentioned to you about. It's not clickbait. Now, yeah, okay, it's upscaled for sure, but still, we're averaging 117 FPS